My name is Keith Coors. I have a practice in Denver, Colorado. Been working with Dino for just under a year now through his coaching program, office visits. And one of the biggest things I've seen from Dino's visit to our office is the effect it's had on my team members' lives, both in and out of the office. We've really kind of moved to the next level, which is what we wanted out of all this. We've seen really the biggest practice growth of my career, with 2017 being up 44% over 2016, which has caused all kinds of new problems for us to solve that are a lot more fun than the problems we were having before. But the way he's customized what he covers with us to what we really need and to what we're going through at the time, it's been different than any other consulting program that we've ever done that walked very specifically through what the consultant wanted to cover instead of what we really needed right then. And he's been very adaptable and worked with us well, and really spent the time with me to make sure that what we're doing and what we're accomplishing fits with what I want and how I want to do it. I couldn't recommend him highly enough to really help you figure out what's next in your office and how you're going to make that happen. It's truly been impactful for my team, myself, and even my family in what we've accomplished over the last year.
And so when I first met Dino, I was I felt as though I had a successful practice, and yet my personal satisfaction was at an all-time low. Dealing with many frustrations on many levels with how my business was running, how I was able to interact with my employees, and was having a very challenging time in my practice. My experiences with consultants is that they come in and try to put a Band-Aid on something. They have very cut and dried modes of, well, this is what you should say and this is what you should do. And it doesn't always work that way. There might be a tool to do a particular job, and it might be a hammer, but that hammer is going to work differently in the hands of different people. Recognizing who those people are and how they operate together as a team is much more important than knowing what brand the hammer is itself. Working with Dino is working much more with a mentor. He is my mentor, he is my coach. He's not a consultant coming in here and just simply putting words in my mouth. He's teaching me how to improve myself, improve my relationships with everyone around me, and as well giving me, invaluable core business principles, that I can build from. I have experienced an amazing transformation. I think the key concept here was really narrowing down and creating a very clear vision of what I wanted. Coming up with some core principles for my practice by which we can operate by and communicate with each other, building relationships amongst our team members as well as our patients. It's really been remarkable, it really is. It's made a huge impact on me and our team and our business, without a doubt. So based on the experience that I've had, the successes that we've seen, the progress that we've made, the financial impact on the practice, I would not hesitate to sign up for a program like this. It might sound trite, but you almost can't afford not to.
Hi, my name is Dr. Jason West, and I've known Dino for a couple years now. I met him through a friend of mine named Garrett Gunderson, and I was kind of a victim of my own success, thinking that life is really good and that everything that happening as far as a busy practice, that the train has reached the station and now I'm happy. And when I get to the station, I realize, hey, this isn't exactly what I thought it would be. And so we started on a program with Dino in November of 2013 to change the culture. And what Dino said was, you know what, if you really work hard on your culture, then it would be easy to have this unbelievable patient experience if all of your team knows what your values are and they know what you want. And so he made a pretty good and convincing argument, and I was kind of thinking, well, I'll try it. And it was a fantastic investment for you. So let me tell you what's happened since then. I didn't think we could do it any better than 2013, and we actually increased our revenue from 2013 into 2014, $487,000, which is all cool and the numbers sound great. But the most important thing is that we did that working 52 days less. then what also was really neat is everything that it transcended in other parts of my life. Being a better communicator as a husband, being able to communicate as a problem, have Dino help me troubleshoot things. And so I'm really grateful to Dino. It was a fantastic experience. It's an ongoing experience. I'm not done yet. I still have things to accomplish that Dino is helping me put together. I'm still a client, and I would absolutely positively say this is fantastic money to spend. Life is about relationships, and so anything that you can do with better relationships, you're going to have a fantastic experience. And so the return on investment for us is, I put $30,000 in the program and made $500,000 more. It's kind of a no-brainer.
My name is Trey Taylor, and I'm the office manager for Dr. Ron Wilson at Wilson Orthodontics. Well, I've been here for 10 years. I was with the previous orthodontist that Dr. Wilson bought the practice from, so as you can well expect, after being in an office for 10 years, many consultants in and out of the office. And first thought was, oh my gosh, here we go again. And just not really positive about it, but being an office manager, you have to portray that. So I had just a lot of reservations of, oh my gosh, again, here we go again. But when this all started, I realized that it was going to be something totally different. And so it just was something that opened my eye to how much, if your doctor does this for you, how much he really does care about the practice. And not just about the practice, but about the people that are in the practice. And I felt like that's the biggest thing that I hope doctors understand when they have this opportunity to do it for their team, is that it shows them how much you care about what's happening and what's happening inside the office, and just changing attitudes and teaching us how to cope with things, teaching us how to look at using the past but not dwelling in it, and just using all of these all of the ideas and techniques that Dino has just to make your personal and your professional life just whole. At some points, and you can imagine we have a large team, that we become separated at some point. I feel like it brought us back together. I feel like it put leadership in folks that maybe had not been leaders before. I felt like it gave them the confidence to stand up and just to really have the doctor's back and have the best interest of our patients in mind. And they actually looked forward to the meeting. We, on Fridays, it's not a day that everybody likes to come in, but everybody, you just didn't hear any complaints. We were so excited about what we were going to learn and how everyone could use it. And I feel like I saw a lot of the team really using a lot of the techniques that were taught. I would definitely do the program. I feel like we've grown tremendously. I can't recommend it enough. I would recommend this to any doctor's office, large or small. I feel like there's so much that each individual takes away from this, not only on the professional level, but on a personal level too. And in doing it, personal and professional, I think it just makes a more rounded office, and it just tells your staff that you're really invested in them. I would not hesitate at all to recommend this, and if you did it, I think you would find that it's the best thing that you could possibly do for your practice.
Hi, I'm Rob Sheffield. I'm an orthodontist in Antioch, in Brentwood, California. The impetus to start this journey was I had a really, in my opinion, a successful practice. I had what I believed was a really good team. There just seemed to be a little bit missing. And I think what it was is it always seemed as though everything was on me or my plate. So I really needed to find a way to engage the team more in the practice. And because of that, I assumed I needed to find a way to be a better leader. I had spoken with some friends who'd met Dino previously, and they spoke to me about the positive impact Dino had on their teams, even from the standpoint of mass change in their team, but then being able to get in those people who really are committed and believe in the same things I do. one of my personal kind of aha moments or whatever when you asked me on the phone one day, well, who's your advocate? And I couldn't answer the question. You said, come on, you should be able to know who's your advocate. Who's that person on your team that when you say, this is what I want to accomplish or this is what I want to have happen, they're on it. I think one of the best things I learned is our core values are who we are. As Dino taught me from the beginning, those are your hiring and firing list. If we live those and you execute always from a place of your core values, you're part of the team. If you deviate, then maybe we need to love you into a different position. I had to let a really long-term employee go during this process. That was really hard, but so often when we do have to make those hard decisions, you feel this sense of weight lifted from your shoulders, and I felt it for me once again, but I also saw a weight lifted from the team, and I think that was also very valuable to see that change. I think one of the biggest things was instituting a core team. You know, I had 3 people, relatively newer employees, given the breakdown of our office, but they seem to have the drive, they seem to have the initiative, they seem to have a work ethic, and along with my office manager, and they became a core team, which has been a great release for me. I've got a group of people I can say, hey, I need this to happen, and so that's been one of the biggest advantages to going through the program, is you've got to identify the people who are going to help you on this journey. And it's a growth journey for them because they're not used to being in that position. And I've learned to set expectations with them and try and give them the authority to, when there's an issue and they see with a team member, well, ideally you'd love your core team to be able to handle it and not everything ending up back in my plate. Unless it absolutely has to happen. And so it's been great to see their evolution in this process of being able to think about ideas or handle issues that come up in a great way. And our previous high ever in the history of our practice was 45. We've done that 3 or 4 times over the years. So we'd kind of set a modest goal of, let's see if we can increase it by about 10%. Well, we ended up hitting 54, and it was a great feeling. People were energized about it because when we did our after action celebration, we had champagne and strawberries and everything like that, but it really kind of came out, it didn't really require any extraordinary extra effort, you know, amongst the clinic team and myself. Meaning we weren't working through every lunch, we weren't here till 7 o'clock at night, we didn't open 4 extra days. It was within the course of the normal day, which was a really great thing to see that, wow, how did we just do, which is typically, you know, almost 20% more than we would typically do in a month, 25% even, and didn't really make any extra Herculean efforts, which was really great to see. So I think that was a wonderful learning experience as the team to come through. Well, number one, if you're feeling like you're ready to jump off the cliff in your professional life, it's fallen apart, then I definitely think Dino can provide you with guidance and help and assistance. The friend who first introduced me to Dino, that was his place. You know, almost ready to the point of leaving orthodontics. It was such a terrible time. And that wasn't where I was at. I just knew I wanted something more. And, you know, as they say, we're not trained in that kind of stuff in school. We can move teeth and we can bend wires and we understand growth and development and we keep up with technology. But we're missing some of these things of how to take us to the next level. So I think someone who wants to learn how they can phrase things differently, how they can think about things differently to communicate what it is we really want for our practice and our team, then Dino definitely has a way to provide that guidance and mentorship to move through in that way.